Hey everyone, it is me, Technicolor Mike B, and I thought I would do another makeup demonstration today. And today's theme is an alien. I showed off a few of the sketches yesterday in the episode of Technicolor Mike B for today's design. This was one of... Where's the camera? This is one of the early sketches of the design. I don't know how well you can tell the color, but it's a light blue colored alien with purple spots and stripes. So that was one iteration of it. This was a slightly larger version, trying to further refine the design. Here's another one where I sort of modified the shape of the unspotted area from, so you can see that the shape has been refined. And I tried a version of the design where there's no edge outline, that the spots just sort of stop without a clear area of demarcation of one zone to the next. I'm not sure which one I will like better, so I'll play around with it and probably start without the line and add it in. Unfortunately, once you add it, you can't really take it away. But yeah, so that's today's design concept that we're going for. Haven't completely worked out all the details of the alien and what type of costuming would be appropriate, and whether it's a full-headed design or if the alien has hair, if he has pointed ears or any other special features. But yeah, so we can focus in on the makeup, and I do have a few wigs and things just to see how different things might look in the character when we get to that point. So let's begin with today's alien makeup design. As always, I start just by cleaning off my face, making sure that there's no dirt and oils. And we will use Mehron Greasepaint. We have our clown white. We have blue. I have some purple. I don't know if you can tell that was purple. And have some red. There's also black. Those are the primary colors I think the design will need. Hopefully I won't need too many others without having to run and get them. And with grease paint, you don't have the wide selection of colors. I sort of saw this design as being a light blue. I guess some of the initial design inspiration was sort of the Na'vi from the movie Avatar, where he was a light blue and had the stripes. So we're going sort of that same light blue color. And that means mixing colors, so I start with a scoop of the white, and I'll probably need a little bit more to cover everything, so just take a little more. Now I just put it on the back of my hand. That's just a place for me to work from, is my palette. There's the lid. And I keep the containers closed, that way they stay clean. I don't get makeup and powder and all the other stuff in it while I'm working. Just take out as much as I need. So also take a scoop of the blue. Might need just a little more. Now just work the white and blue together on the back of my hand, mixing the colors. I could probably mix it up a little better, but I think that is good enough to get started. We'll be doing enough mixing and spreading that any unevenness will be taken care of as we go. The whole design is based in blue, even though you see spots just about everywhere other than like the nose and forehead. Everything has a blue background, so we're just going to cover everything, and then we'll just add the purple over it as a second layer. So at this point, there's not really a need to be neat and tidy. There's no edges that I have to worry about. Just going for full coverage. Normally, at this point, I would do some contouring to give the design some highlights and shadows, but I think there's going to be so much purple work that it's too early. Most of them I'll be covered up. So now the goal is really just even coverage, full coverage. For a design like this, I'll often just take the extra makeup and transfer it back onto the end of a brush and just sort of save it in case I need that color later in the process. That way I can clean my hand off, and at this point I'm going to powder the first layer of makeup so it sets, and then we'll work on adding the purple over it. If I add purple on top right now, it will blend in to the blue layer and it will fade a little bit more than I want it to. But if I set this, then I'm painting over it and the purple will be on top of it a little bit more. So I think that is probably going to be the easier approach. Again, I'm just guessing. So I'm going to take my powder puff and my baby powder, back up so I don't get powder all over the keyboard and everything. The first part of powdering is just getting powder on the makeup. So at this point I'm really just dusting it. Then I switch to another powder puff that's not as fluffy, and then I could press and work the powder into the makeup. Grease paint is an oil-based makeup, and the baby powder helps to pull out the excess oil. So after it's been powdered, it will be dry to the touch, and it's sort of like the pigment or the color remains, but the oil that allows you to work with it is gone. So once you apply the powder, the next step is to remove the excess powder. Again, this is a lot easier to do in a bathroom or somewhere with tile that's easy to clean up, instead of an office space with lots of surfaces for the powder to eventually settle. But that's one of the challenges of doing makeup demonstrations on a computer. You have to be where the computer is. Now this is just the base layer of makeup, and I'm going to be applying more makeup on top of it. So it's important to get as much of the powder off so that you can apply the next layer of makeup without the powder setting that makeup. Well, and I was going to give myself guidelines to work with for the layout of the makeup before I set it, but I guess I forgot that I was going to do that step. That when before the makeup is set, I could change my mind and draw and redraw a few times. But we'll just be more careful with laying the design out, and I'm just going to do it in white as sort of a light lines. So that's the design we're going for. So just doing the outline for the forehead area, which will run into the nose. And so inside those lines will all be purple. And try to do both sides a little at a time so I'm able to be consistent. So those are the guidelines. They're just sort of faint. They're not intended to be dark. I just want something to help me find landmarks as I go back and forth from side to side. And it's easier at this point if I want to change something to draw it out differently now than after I'm halfway through a design and have lots of makeup to move around. So just taking a little bit of the purple and we'll start by coloring in because it's the second layer. It doesn't go on quite as smoothly as the first layer did because it's going over makeup instead of going over skin, and it's been powdered, so it's a little on the drier side. And the more I work it, it will start to blend in a bit to the blue behind it. So I can still create a soft edge. So that's the nose, and now there's some stripes, and then like between the stripes will be the spots. So I think it might actually be easier to, more precise to do it with a brush. Absolute symmetry isn't essential. Faces aren't perfectly symmetrical, but I want it to be somewhat consistent. sometimes when you're doing something like this, the better, the more work you put into removing the powder, the excess powder, the easier your job will be. That's what I'm fighting against, is the powder that's trying to there are the stripes. So now we can go on to the spots. Need a little bit more purple. Now I always struggle making things look organic, and that means that they're randomly spaced, randomly sized. It's not like a pizza that you've ordered that they put exactly the right number of pepperoni slices perfectly throughout the pizza in a grid pattern. So I want big dots, little dots, not just a row of dots in the same shape. I'm going to use a Q-tip and try that to start to see if that works. Just put a little makeup on the end of the Q-tip and so that's the first quadrant of spots. Now just another dozen sets of spots to go. And this is where you have to just sort of slow yourself down and like not just try to rush it, so that they look good. Do a little on the other side. Now this design, I was looking for an alien design to do. A lot of times when I do a design, if I'm doing a lot of highlighting and shadows, I'm simulating structure, so I'm like you'd have a ridge pattern or something, or so shapes are meaningful because like there's bone below them. This one, I wanted something that was more of a paint-based pattern to it, texture. Something a little different. And what I was saying originally about trying to do these is organically, that there are different colors, different shapes, different sizes. Trying to make it not look like it's following a template. There's times when I do want evenly size-spaced texture, and there's times where I want unevenly. So it's taking time, but I think it's making it look more alien-esque. And now I need more purple. Start on the other side of the Q-tip. See if I can. This other side's not cooperating. We'll just get a new one. So try to do a few of the big spots and then sort of filling in the gaps between them with littler ones. Alright, so those are the purple spots. And I think just to add a little variety, I'm going to add in some blue spots. Just to fill some of the spaces. So there are the spots, and this is the look without any outlining, and that's sort of what the drawing said it could look like if I outline it, so we'll see how the outlining goes. And like I said, unfortunately, once I add an outline, I can't really take it away. There's one side outlined and the other side without it, so you can sort of decide which one you like better. So that is with the outline. Now we could just add a touch of black. So Just take some black and put it on my hand. There's one side with the black and one side without. So I think the outline helped, but everyone has their own style and opinion of what they like, so you might like it better without. Whenever I add black, I try to add white as a counter. And it doesn't have to go everywhere, just enough. So there we have what I think is a finished for that. So we could powder it, set the makeup. Back up again. So here is makeup is set. I I do have, as I mentioned, somewhere. Some makeup powder, eyeshadow that I can just add. Color to areas. Then I could do the same with a purple shadow. The grease paints never give you quite the vibrant colors that you can with face paints or your eyeshadows, so eyeshadows can be a good way to finish. So there is the design, and as I said, I brought some costume stuff to just play with, to see how it would look in wardrobe. So this is just a neck piece that you can put around and give you a better neckline. So instead of wearing a full-fledged shirt that would be hot potentially on a summer day, it just gives you the collar to work with. Then I have a sparkly shirt that I thought would go well with a spaceman. Probably not the style alien with a button-down shirt, but it's what I could pull together in short notice, just to give the impression of what the design would look like with something and I brought some wigs in case I want to see what it looked like with hair. Just put a quick wig cap on. Protect the wig from the makeup. And let's see, we have a blue wig. I don't know that this is... So that's what the alien would look like with blue hair. Probably if the wig was styled. I know, I guess it looks too much like the Elvis alien. So I have a white-haired wig. I don't know. I'm not used to seeing aliens with hair, so... But that's just a possibility. And a slightly different style white wig. Yeah, I don't think these wigs work with this alien just yet. So yeah, that is today's design. The alien. Hope you learned something from watching the demonstration. This is Technicolor Mike B signing out. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.